Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. It's Wednesday. It means new comics are hitting shelves all across the world. Whether or not they're digital, physical, you're going to find new releases every Wednesday, which is pretty awesome if you're a comic book fan, because it's just a day of the week you get to look forward to. It's not Hump Day, it's New Comic Book Day. So DC Comics has two new Rebirth trades to check out. Suicide Squad and Titans. Two very interesting books because they're both team books, but really are so very, very different from each other. We're going to go in alphabetical order to kind of discuss each release. So Suicide Squad Volume 1, The Black Vault. $16.99 is the retail, but you get issues 1 through 4 and the Suicide Squad Rebirth one-shot. Not as many issues I think you normally get. So value, you're not getting quite as much as some of the ones we've seen in the past, but still, it's Suicide Squad. If you're into Suicide Squad, you're probably going to dig this and pick this up. So, it's got art from Jim Lee. Rob Williams is writing. Basically, the story is an interesting one. The Suicide Squads get sent on a Suicide Squad mission, a suicide mission. What a shock. It's into Russia. They got to go and retrieve this weird artifact. I'm not going to spoil you as to what the artifact is, who it is, but things kind of go haywire really, really quickly. Yeah, that's about what I'm going to go in with the plot. I'm not going to give away too much more. I don't think that's the what I want to do. So we're just going to leave it at that. The story itself is pretty interesting. It's not super in depth as far as like characters. It's all action. I mean, it really is kind of that big blockbuster film on comic book page. If you're into that, then it's it's going to be absolutely fantastic for you. But if you're looking for a little bit more, maybe not quite as much a shooty and stabby and stuff like that, but want more character driven, it's not quite that. We've seen that in some of the previous versions of Suicide Squad and some of the stories involving the characters. This is just the straight up explosions, punch things, kill things, do the mission, quick witty one-liners, cliffhangers, all that on a comic book page. It's not a bad thing. I just want to pretty much say what I'm calling it as I see it. Now there is some really, really good in there. The stories were actually kind of short in these releases, and that's because there were backup stories for all the issues, and this has the backup stories, which I think is really, really great. So there is in here, so it's called the Task Force X Personnel Files. There's a bunch of stories. We've got one of Deadshot, one of Boomerang. Let's see what else we got. I think Katana has it. Harley Quinn's got hers. And that's where, like, if you really want more of kind of the in-depth about the characters themselves, that's actually where all that kind of is within the comic book. So you get the main story, which is all action-packed, crazy, just go with the flow and accept it. And then there's these backup stories that kind of go through each of the characters and gives a little bit more depth on every single one. That actually are really, really good. I mean, it's more of about the characters than the action and the craziness. You really do get to learn about the characters, so that's really solid. So overall, I kind of give this a little bit of the mixed bag as far as rating, because I'm not so big about the big action thing. If I want that, I can go see a Jerry Bruckheimer film and like turn off my brain, or Michael Bay film, turn off my brain, and just enjoy that for like the next 3 hours. On the printed page, I don't think it necessarily always works super well. This works better than some, but still, I was hoping for maybe a little bit more. The backup stories, though, on the other hand, I think are really, really solid. So this one's kind of like that middle area. So one part of it's kind of for me, but the other half of it's actually really, really, really good and kind of makes up for it. If you're into Suicide Squad, if you like the movie, if you just like some of the characters, go for it. At that point, might as well check it out. $16.99, you're going to get a pretty good deal for what you get inside. As far as extras, in between each of the chapters is covers. As far as the art, it's Jim Lee art. I really need to show off Jim Lee art. I mean, the dude is a legend for a reason. Let's go try to find at least some of the art that I really, really like. Yeah, so this is the Rebirth issue. there was some funny stuff in this. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, there's like, you know, things going haywire and going crazy. I mean, it's Jim Lee art. The dude's amazing. So you're not going to be disappointed as far as that. Variant gallery, we've seen that in a lot of other trades. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the extras that you're going to get in this. There's not much else. There's a lot of variants in it, but there's some awesome variants. Let's see what else we got. We do have some sketches, so rough and final pencils from Jim Lee. So if you're into Jim Lee's art, I mean, this is kind of a given. Get Jim Lee doing Barack Obama. I'm not going to do an impersonation of Barack Obama because that's just going to be embarrassing for everyone. Some other stuff. So as I said, you know, this one's kind of a mixed bag. You don't get quite as many issues, but you do get a lot of pencils of Jim Lee's in the back, which I think is kind of the bigger draw out of everything. The backup stories are really, really solid. That one I was kind of shocked at when I read it and actually enjoyed the backup stories more than the main stories. All right, second one, we got Titans, Volume 1, The Return of Wally West. So this is by writer Dan Abnett. We also got Brett Booth is on art, Norm Rapmund is on art as well, and then Andrew Dahlhaus. So this one collects DC Rebirth number 1, and then Titans 1 through 6. Or sorry, this is not collected. It follows DC Rebirth number 1, which is a pretty key thing, which we'll talk about in a second. Titans 1 through 6, and then Titans Rebirth number 1. The reason I bring up the DC Rebirth number 1, brain fart, I'm also running a fever, so excuse me. So the reason I bring that up is the big thing they have in DC Rebirth number 1 is the return of Wally West, hence the title, Return of Wally West. You know, classic character that's been gone for quite a few years. He's been lost into time, and we've mysteriously have found out that time has been screwed around with, and there's missing years for everyone in the DC universe, and there's this big mystery as to who did that and what's caused all of this. Hence, we get into Titans, which brings back Wally, reconnecting with his friends, the Titans. So we've got Arsenal and Nightwing and all the classic characters, basically. Like, if they were a Titan of the old school, they're kind of in there. So a lot of this is kind of them getting back together, reuniting, remembering things, and getting back into the groove of things, which is kind of cool because it's partially they'll sit there and be like, oh, this kind of feels familiar, but they're not quite sure why. And that's really interesting to watch as these people slowly kind of get their memory back, but not quite get their memory back. But while Wally remembers everything, this timeline that just doesn't exist for everyone else around him. So there's that, and then there's the other is, out of I think all the DC comics that are going on right now, this one's probably tied into most of the big DC Universe Rebirth storyline as to this missing time and who's been manipulating it. This one has really kind of been dealing with it, all the issues. There's a big villain that is revealed. I don't know if I want to reveal who that is, because it's kind of cool, and I feel like I shouldn't do that. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to be good. We're gonna keep that for the readers. But the story is really, really neat. I like the villain that they bring back, who's also been kind of hidden for quite a while, is a good one. It brings you back some solid history with that. And he's just a complete psychopath, which is always fun. And it just feels like this old school classic comic with the Titans taking on this bad guy, figuring out kind of what's going on, this bigger picture. There's a lot of fun to it. There's just this really good energy and vibe. Don't know quite how to describe it. It's one of those where I say comics should be fun and entertaining and just give you that, like, put a smile on your face. This is kind of like epitomizes that in so many ways. So that's a good thing. The art, Brett Booth does a solid job. I really do enjoy his art. You can check that kind of jumping off the page. There is some oddness with the characters having like really elongated heads. I don't know why. It's just, I guess, his style. Yeah, we can kind of see it here. Like, everyone seems like they're stretched for some reason. I don't know why. So it's one where I like the art because I think he does action really, really well, and a lot of this is action. And the other thing I enjoy, well, I can't show this. Well, yeah, I can. We'll show you this part off. Is how the panels are laid out. I think are really cool. Kind of builds off that kinetic vibe of the issue, which is really, really cool. So, out of the two, I really recommend this one for more than just the art. With extras, you get covers. And then in the back, we get some variants. And a little bit of sketches, but not much as far as that. So we get 2 offering from DC Comics. They did hook us up with these free comics, so I want to mention that so you can make your own decisions as to which you should get, if you should get any of them. I like to be transparent here. I like to, admit when we get stuff for free. These 2 are free. Go make your own conclusion. But since one I wasn't quite too keen on, and the other one I pretty much enjoyed and would recommend, that pretty much says it all. I don't know how more honest you can get off of that. There are links that you can purchase these below this video. There's a link that you can find at local comic book shops. These are going to be in local comic shops this Wednesday today, and then they will be available at mass bookstores next Tuesday. If you don't have a local comic book shop, there are links below. You can buy them there, but you should go support your local comic book shop first and foremost, because without local comic book shops, comic industry would be hurting really, really bad. But those links that are below this video are affiliate links, so when you do purchase through those, you do help support our site. We do get a small percentage of it, so I've been doing that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. But we're just watching this video. Also appreciate that you do help support our site by just viewing things. Now, if you're into DC Comics and comic books in general, by watching this video, there's probably a good chance you are. You should go check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.